Julian, if you can imagine it, you can make it happen, right?
Yes.
I remember when you were here at Renier's company offsite and explained us in half an hour how you made wefox happen and how you disrupted the large insurance industry. Can you share with us?
Not there yet. So it's a very big industry. So we're just getting started.
Well, of course, most of the good stuff is still to come.
Yeah.
But tell me, how are things with wefox? I guess, economy or the meltdown or whatever you call it is not really affecting you negatively, right? Insurance, you need in either cases.
Well, you know, we're pretty diversified by now, so there's some negatives and some positives. But in general, I think what happened is we were founded in 2015. We took advantage of the era of cheap money. We raised a total of 1.5 billion. And we now build a very large and stable business that we're turning from hyper growth, which is 100% growth year on year, to
still 100% growth?
That's the old paradigm.
Okay.
So until 2021 and 2. But this year we're growing around 40%. And we are, this month in December, forecasted to be profitable.
Oh, wow.
After 8 years. So really turning from hyper growth to profitable growth, which is a great experience for a leader.
Have you done a cost cutting, or was it all because of?
Sure. So a lot of, we've moved every stone. When you grow from 0 to 800 million in revenues in 8 years, there's a lot of things that you've built that absolutely do not make any sense. You know, you have to make so many decisions.
Did you do this review internally, or you brought external people in to help you?
I mean, we have, I believe, way too many advisors. Yeah, I always try to remind everyone, do not hire.
What advisors?
Well, on any tax here, I don't know, actuarial there, I think it's a disease, yeah. And I try to always remind everyone that we should get rid of this disease, yeah. We push it forward by ourselves. I think we do. I mean, there was some really obvious things, right? So we invested money into things that didn't return a profit within the next 3-4 years. We cut all of that. We focused the business, you know.
So you're basically focusing on the core business?
Yes.
And your investors, how are they doing? Are they giving you a harder time now? Are they pushing you? We heard from several speakers. Suddenly it's all about, we want you to be, well, I guess you managed in this month, you said, to reach into profits. Is the momentum more like, be more on profits and less on growth?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I have a lot of sympathy with investors, right?
How many you have? You must by now, right?
I don't know. And I mean, they've had so many bad messages over the last, let's say, 12, 18 months, right? Every single day, you know, this company's blowing up, this company's blowing up, this. So I can relate, you know, that they are not in the best of all moods, right? But our investors have been very supportive.
Who is your biggest, or who are your biggest three?
So biggest is Target Global. Then we have Mubadala from Abu Dhabi. Then we have Euraseo, Omers, LGT. So they've been supportive. But of course, you can't live in a fantasy. Yeah? So what I always said was, what we need to manage to do is we need to survive and keep the dream alive.
Well, there's this thing, fake it until you make it. It sounds like now with hard work, you got to make it, right? Now you are, I don't know if you disclose the revenues.
Well, this year we're going to be 800 million in revenues.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So, and then you still have growth. So when you talk these big numbers, next question. 2024, the environment. So you must have high hopes in 2024. wefox is now how old?
So we're 8 years. Next year we're going to break through the 1 billion in revenues. I don't think there's a lot of companies that have managed to do that in 9 years from founding.
And these are commissions on insurances?
These are two things. So our original business is the commission business. So we have 6,000 distribution partners, brokers, and affinity partners across Europe. Around, of the 800 million this year, around 500 million is commission. And then we have our own balance sheet that we use in order to underwrite special opportunities with high margins.
That's like where you're an
from the
insurance
distribution. And there's around 300 million is on the balance sheet.
Wow. And how do you see the macro for next year playing out? I mean, is the macro important for you?
I mean, we live in a very confusing time, and everybody who tells you who knows is, I think...
Well, Klaus Homitz had this morning presentations of soldiers. Like, America has so many soldiers, China, it's geopolitics. Young Sun, yesterday from Valen Catalyst at the speakers' dinner, was talking about you have to think about from where you take money. As a European company, to take money from a Chinese investor today, everything changed, right?
Yeah. I mean, what we see right now is, you know, on the one side, we've seen this tech crisis. Like, it was really a tech crisis, now a bit of a real estate crisis, but it was really a tech crisis, right? So with rising interest...
They went a bit gaga with COVID. Everyone thought, like, this is going on and on and on and
people
on.
just increased their budgets like crazy, obviously, because the money was available. I just met with Sebastian from Klarna a few weeks ago, and he said he was burning in March 22 last year, like 200 million a month or something, right?
It's not easy.
So that's the type of stuff that happens when you know, you're in extraordinary times, and obviously these models, you know, that were burning so much capital, and I'm saying Klarna at the core is actually a very good model, but these were hit the first, right? Because obviously LPs told their GPs, the VCs, to stop investing because they had other ways to make money now, and it dried up completely. For late stage growth, it dried up from one day to the next. And it's a function of rising interests. So now I don't think the interest will be rising anymore. They will slowly go down, things will normalize. I'm actually very optimistic, but I don't think we will get back to the Wild West.
Well, I mean, we got a lot of questions when the market came down. I invested in a few companies. If you look at profitable companies like professional publishing or syndicated market, information services, businesses, they didn't adjust so much on valuation. It was the ones where you needed to believe in a lot in order for them to break profitable. The growth rate slowed, and then people were like, oh gosh, this is not going to get profitable, right? So you had like Lemonade. I mean, what do you think about Lemonade? They must have drank Kool-Aid, right? In order to support these valuations, they must have believed in a... I mean, I saw the Lemonade stock, which is another insurance business from the new world. Their stock came down like 90%, right? Were you happy that you're not a public company at that point?
I think our business is very different. So we're not a balance sheet per se.
And well, 300 million are from balance sheets.
But it's a very special strategy that we have, which is just taking the most profitable business onto our own balance sheet, improving our negotiation power towards the other 300 insurers that we're working with.
Okay.
And we are not a direct business. So the problem, I think, is direct is very expensive, and having a balance sheet is not a venture case.
Yeah. I mean, some of these models, like talking about Auto One, for example, I mean, in the end, it's very frugal to do, the inspection, you have the real estate, I mean, eventually you're like the same like the old industry you wanted to disrupt, plus the online costs. So how are you making sure that you still internationalize? Is internationalization for you a big thing, or you are now in this tougher market, are not so keen to grow into international markets?
I mean, we have a very low risk approach to internationalization, which is we would acquire a insurance distribution business as a hub, roll out our technology and the rest of our business model to that hub, right? So and we acquire a team, and we acquire the relationships to the insurers and to the distribution companies. So that's a really low risk starting point. So we don't do kind of the spray approach.
And will you ever go public, or what is your future, like on wefox? Is it like too early to even think about?
I mean, we have big targets. We will launch a new third business model after the distribution and the insurance. Next year we will launch the platform. I have huge ambitions with the platform. I think what it's about is really profitable core business, continuing to grow, and getting traction on our new platform business where we can have significantly higher EBITDA margins than in the distribution business. And with these two in place, I think in any market condition, we will be doing very well as a private and a public company.
Well, I think once you are profitable, it's a complete new game, right? Then you attract new investors, and you have lots of options what you can do.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. It's a new feeling.
I was with Blacklane on the stage in sustainability, and he was also saying, we are profitable. Wow, it's so amazing. I guess it's like making Abitur or so, right? And you have like this, I moved to the next level.
You're now an adult. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you so much. Amazing.
Thanks,
Julian, come here. Let me give you a hug.
Yeah.
Really appreciate for you coming.
Thank you. No, thanks for organizing.